We often decide to write memoir because we've reached a point in our life. So there's something going on that triggers this desire to want to share our story. And it's really important to understand what is going on. So what's happening now that has triggered this big desire. And also, when you're thinking about writing memoir, you're writing it from your now. And you're looking at your backstory. So what we want to do is say, well, where is our now and what triggered it? And what triggered it is something that happened previously. So we've got that trigger that says, I want to write it now, but it will have been triggered by something that causes something that, some experience in your life. And then you have travelled some kind of journey that brings you to this point and joins together all the themes and all the different elements of the memoir. So the questions are, what's happening now? Think about where you are and what triggered your now. Just write it, just a few sentences. And then when you've got a notion of where you are, when you look at your timeline, again, you'll start to find connections. It'll really help you to write the right memoir. So we've got a lot of questions for you. So dig out your journal. Where am I now in my life? When did my now start? So if I take, for example, the place I am at the point of making this, I have travelled over the last year or so. My spine fractured. That was a trigger. And that's where my now started in my healing osteoporosis story. So where am I now? I'm doing very well, thank you. I've gone through a lot of healing. But what is still happening in my now? What is still going on? What are the main characteristics? So it's joining all of those dots together. So where are we now? What's happening in that story? What was the trigger from the past? And what are those main characteristics of my now as I reflect backwards? What images, sounds, feelings, senses, what comes to mind when I think of the journey that brought me here? What are my relationships like? And that's relationships with yourself and with all kinds of other people around you. Again, if I take the osteoporosis story, my life was hugely out of balance and I didn't know. So, having your bones crumble is like having the foundation of you crumble. So my relationship with me is stronger and firmer, and I have a better foundation for moving forward. That's my relationship with me. Relationships with other people. My relationship has strengthened with my mum, who also has osteoporosis, but went on a very, very different journey. So it's looking at those relationships. What is making you happy or sad? I'm delighted because I feel very, very healthy and have energy. What frustrations and tensions are you still feeling? So there's, in everyone's life, there's still things going on. And what other emotions are arising around this potential story and the stuff that's going on now? What about your health? I've talked a little bit about my health, but, if you focus in on your body, what do you notice? Are you having any me time? Are you taking any time out? Are you doing any exercise? Are you moving your energy? What about your stress levels? What about your diet? We are holistic. We're not just one thing. And putting that energy into our memoir requires us to be in a place where we are happy to spend that time writing and exploring, because things will come up. So dig out the journal, go through the questions, and really do enjoy exploring where you find yourself now and all the stuff that's coming up, because it will inform your memoir.